Okay, good afternoon and welcome to our English course. This is class number 6. This is English for 10th grade and today's topic is simple present tense. I am Mrs. Savi Vega and today's objectives are identify different action verbs, use simple present to talk about habitual actions. Okay, when we talk about a sentence, there are two parts that we need to take in consideration. The subject, who do the action, and the verb, what is the action. So with that combination of a subject plus a verb, we can make a sentence. What is the subject? In a sentence, the subject is the person, the animal, or thing that does the verb. For example, Alisa is eating banana. Who is eating banana? Alisa. In that case, the proper name Alisa is the subject of the sentence. In sentence number 2, the cat is drinking milk. Who is drinking? The cat. So that answer my question. The answer of my question is the subject of the sentence, the cat. In that case, cat is an animal. The phone is ringing. What is ringing? The answer is the phone. So the phone is the subject of that sentence. Alicia is one example of a subject of a person. The cat is the animal and the phone is the thing. Remember, a subject in a sentence is the person, the animal or thing that does the action, that does the verb. Remember, the subject comes before the verb. Check the position. When we have affirmative sentences, the subject is in the first position. So the subject is number 1 in the sentence. Then we have the verb. Also, we use the subject pronouns as subject in some sentences. We want to replace a common name like the cat. We want to replace the proper name of a person, Alisa. Then we use the pronoun she. There are singular and plural pronouns. Let's check them. Singular, first person, subject pronoun, I. That refers to me. Okay? I is singular. That's mean only one. The contrapart or the opposite is the plural form, we. With that pronoun, I am included, but there is another person. So we are plural because we are more than one. So that means we are two. I is the first person singular, we is the first person plural. Then we have you. Yes, the pronoun you is singular, but at the same time, you is plural. He, she, and it, they are the VIP. They are the most important part of these subject pronouns because they cause confusion in us. We, he, she, and it, they are the third person singular. He refers to a male, she refers to female, it refers to animals and things. So when we talk about two or more than two, that means 3 or 4 or 5, a group of people, then we use the subject pronouns they, that is the third person in plural. So let's check the singular, then the plural. I, you, he, it, she. The plural forms, we, you, and they. These are 7 subject pronouns that we use and learn in English. I, talking about me, you could be singular or plural, he, she, it, the third person singular, and they, the third person plural. Don't forget we, I am included. Okay, now that we have clear what is a subject, an animal, a person, a thing, they does what the action. Now let's check what is the action. Action verbs describe what someone or something is doing. Verbs are actions. So in here we have an example. Look at the picture. What is she doing? She sings. What is she doing? She dances. And verb is a word that describes an action. Okay? It's an action. The verb is an action. That is someone is doing something. There are some examples of action verbs. Here we have practice at home and repeat after me. Walk, walk, run, run, ride, ride, stand up, sit down, turn off, turn on, open, close, give, laugh, think, cry, listen, play, read, write, climb, win, fight, sing, dance, watch TV, cook, wash, pull, push, throw away, talk, wait, fly, eat, drink, sleep. Each of these words represent an action, and the action is illustrated by an image. This image let you know what the meaning of the word is. In that case, the action, the verb. So we can make a sentence like this. We have the verb walk. Walk is an action. In here we have a male. So which subject pronouns do we use? Yes, he. So in order to complete the sentence, we need a subject and a verb. He walks. He runs. She rides a bike. Those are physical actions. Now we have the opposite actions. Stand up, sit down. Stand up, sit down. And this is a compound word because we have two words together. Now we have more opposite verbs. Turn off. If I have a light, turn off. Turn on the light. Open and close. Those are opposite too. She or he opens the door. He closes the door. Give. That's another action. He gives a gift to her. He gives her a gift. Laugh. I laugh out loud. Ha 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 ha. Think. Cry. Those are actions. Remember, verbs are actions. And in order to create or make a sentence, you need a subject and a verb. Listen. She listens to music. Play. He plays his favorite game. Read. He reads an interesting book. Write. The teacher writes an essay. Climb. That's another action. The boy climbs the ladder. Win. He wins the championship. Fight. The knight fights against the bad guys. Sing. She sings a beautiful song. Dance. The ballerina dances in the stage. Watch TV. My mom watches TV every afternoon. Cook. The chef cooks meals. Wash. I wash the dishes. Pull. They pull the rope. Push. He pushes the boxes. Throw away. This is toss something in the trash can. I throw away the garbage. Talk. They talk among them. Wait. They wait for the flight. Fly. The airplane flies to Europe. Eat. The boy eats a hot dog. Drink. The woman drinks a hot coffee. Sleep. The man sleeps in the bed. Remember, subject and verb. Subject could be people, animal, or thing. The action, what does the subject? Okay, now let's check this video. I'm in class, sorry, I'm in class. Today we are going to talk about action verbs. Now, first things first. What is an action verb? What is an action verb? The truth is, in order to understand what an action verb is, you have to understand what a noun is. Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing. A person like a teacher, a place like a gas station, or a thing like an apartment block. If it's a person, place, or thing, it's a noun. Okay, so what's an action verb? Well, action verbs are words that tell people what verbs tell. So, say it again. Action verbs are words that tell you what verbs Alright, now we're going to look at some action verbs for the fact we saw what action verbs are words that tell you what verbs do. So, what's a teacher's verb? This is teacher. Teaches. Teaches is a good action verb. It's what this noun does, what this teacher does. What does this teacher do? This teacher knows how. Alright, on to the gas station. What does the gas station do? Well, the gas station sells, doesn't it? It sells gasoline and other things. What else does the gas station do? It's another action verb. Gas station. A gas station fuels. A gas station fuels your car. Fuels is an action verb. Great, let's try an alarm clock. What does an alarm clock do? What are some action verbs that describe when your clock comes? Well, an alarm clock ticks, doesn't it? Tick, 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 tick. That's one action verb for an alarm clock. Another action verb is this is what an alarm clock does. I need to wake up. What does an alarm clock do? Wake up. Raise. Yeah, an action verb is raise. Action verbs describe what nouns do. A teacher teaches and knows. A gas station sells and fuels. And an alarm clock ticks and rings. Well, let's think of some more real-life examples of action verbs. Awesome. Here's a picture of a rat. Cute for a rat. Most people think mice are cute. Mice are cute too. Rats can be cute, just so you understand. Now, what does this rat do in the picture? What is the action verb? What does this rat do? Yeah, this rat eats. Great job. Eats is the action verb. It's describing what this noun does. What does this rat do? This rat eats. Eats is the action verb. Let's look at this picture. What does this dog do in the picture? What does this dog do? Action verb. Yeah, this dog runs. Action verb. This picture is runs. This dog runs. Cool. Let's look at this one. What does this lady do in the picture? What does this lady do?
A little girl sang. Sang. Which word? Yeah, sang. Sang is the action word because it tells us what the noun does. Good job. Let's try this one. He speaks to his mother. He speaks to his mother. Which word is the action? Aha. Speaks. Speaks is the action word. It's the word that tells us what the noun does. The noun. He speaks. Speaks is the action word. Good job. Okay, let's look at this one now. They grow flowers. They grow flowers. Which word is the action? You got the hang of this. Grow flowers. Grow. Grow is the action word. It's the word that tells us what the noun grows. Good job. Okay, now let's do it. The kids watch us go on. This is a cool one. There you go. The kids watch us go on. Which word is the action word?
Watch.
Yeah, watch is the action. So pictures, we have flies action word. It's what I do. What do you do? What are some action verbs that describe what you're doing? What is you run? Do you build? Do you sing? What do action verbs tell us? Tell exciting tales too. And it's exciting because it's full of action. And we hope to learn see you next time.
Okay, now let's talk about the simple present tense. Now that we have clear what is an action and what is the subject, now let's check this tense, simple present tense. Now look at this video. Do you know when do we use simple present tense? We use simple present tense when we talk about actions that happen regularly, general truth, thoughts, and facts. Actions that happen regularly, for example, I go to the gym every day. They talk about habits. The present talks about habits action. Like, for example, facts and general truth. You are fit. The present tense talks about facts. Thoughts, feelings, and opinions. For example, my friend thinks that I'm unhealthy. We use the simple present tense with the different subject pronouns. I walk, you walk, we walk, they watch, they go. In the singular forms, remember, we need to add the S to the verb. He walks, she watches, he goes. The words that or the verbs that end in these consonants like fix changes to fixes. Fly, cry, and study change into IES. Flies, cries, studies, and tries. To sum up, the use of the tense is for habits, facts, thoughts, feelings, and opinion. The forms of the tense depend on the subject. If they are plural, the verb keeps its original form. If we talk about the third person singular, we need to add an S to the verbs, like in the case of walks, watches, and studies. Okay, it was a quick video. Now let's review everything again. The simple present tense is used to talk about habitual actions, is used to talk about facts, is used to talk about opinions and feelings. The simple present tense needs or requires the subject. Depending on the subject, we use the verb in its original form, or we need to add an S if the subject is the third person singular, he, she, or it. Now, let's review the simple present tense of the most common verb to be. In here we have to check three things. Am, is, are. The three forms of the conjugation of the verb to be in the simple present. Am is used for the subject pronoun I. Is used for the singular subject pronouns he, she, and it. And are is used for the plural forms or the plural pronouns we, you, and they. So in here we have some examples of simple singular sentences in affirmative form. He is in the room. She is my mother. It is a cat. Now let's check the plural forms. We are friends. They are dentists. You are a student. Remember, am is only used with the subject pronoun I. I am an engineer. When we want to make a sentence into a negative form, we add the word not after the verb be. So, we have here some examples of negative statements. I am not an engineer. You are not a student. He is not in the room. She is not my mother. It is not a cat. They are not friends. They are not dentists. When we make questions, we move the position of the verb to be to the first one. So now the verb to be is one or the first one in the sentence. Am I an engineer? Remember that the question mark is used at the end of the statement. Am I an engineer? Then the short answer include the verb to be too. Yes, you are. No, you aren't. Are you a student? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Is he in the room? Yes, he is. No, he's not. Is she my mother? Yes, she is. No, she is not. It is a cat? Yes, it is. No, it is not. Are we friends? Yes, we are. No, we aren't. Are they dentists? Yes, they are. No, they are not. Now, I mentioned before, and you saw in the video, that when the subject pronoun is the third person singular, he, she, or it, there is a slightly variation in the ending of the verbs. So these are three major rules to use in the simple present tense and action verbs. So in general, most verbs just need to be at the S. Like for example, I read, then we just add the S if the subject is he or she. I read, she reads. I walk, he walks. So this is the general rule. Just add S to the verb. But what happens if the verb ending is different? So we have rule number 2 and rule number 3. For verbs ending in a vowel, remember vowels A, I, O, U, or plus a Y, then you just add the S. Like I play, he plays. I say, he says. But what happens if before that Y, we have a consonant? So we need to add the vowel I and the extra syllable es. So we have here I study, he studies. I fly, it flies. The bee flies. With the verbs ending in the vowel O, double S, sh, sh, ch, x, z, we have to add the extra syllable es. So I have I go, she goes. I do, he does. I wash, he washes. I kiss, she kisses. I miss, he misses. I watch, she watches. I catch, she catches. I fix, she fixes. I relax, he relaxes. In all these cases, you observe the extra syllable es. But you say, why do we need to add an extra syllable in those cases? It's because of pronunciation. Yes, to give more fluency to the pronunciation of the words. It's very difficult to say double, triple S. So we need an extra syllable for the pronunciation purposes. So what happens want to make a question and the verb is not verb to be? Well, we need the help of the auxiliary do or does. Do and does are the auxiliary form verbs of the simple present tense. We use do or does to make questions in the simple present tense. Remember, if the verb in the sentence is the verb to be is an exception. Questions with to be and modal verbs can, might, should, they use themselves. We don't need to use do or does. Do or does is only for the rest of the verb, the regular verbs. So what is the position of do and does in a question? Well, they are in the first position. So we start the question with the word do or does, depending on the subject. Remember, do is used when the subject is I, you, we, and they, and does is used when the subject is he, she, or it. Depending on the subject, then we decide which modal auxiliary we need to use. So in here we have one example. Do you go? Do you go to the park every day? Do you want a cup of coffee? Does he like playing video games? Remember, you can have an affirmative sentences. You speak English. If you want to make this statement into a question, you need the help of an auxiliary. In that case, depending on the subject is you, I need to use the modal auxiliary do. Do is number one in the sentence. So you do is the first thing that I write in my statement. Do you speak English? Remember, there are two additions in this sentence, the word do at the beginning and the question mark at the end. But look at the rest, it is the same. Woo! Easy, right? Now, what happens when the subject is different from you, I, we, and they? Now, my subject is he. He speaks English. In the affirmative sentence, you observe that the verb contains the S according to the rules. That's correct. But when we make this into a question, now we need the help. Now, does came to the rescue and is going to help us with that S. So we don't need to write the S again because does contains the S. Does is the first thing that we write in a question. Does he speak English? We don't need the S anymore because does has it. So we drop the X, we eliminated, deleted the S, just write the auxiliary form at the beginning and the question mark at the end. The base form of the infinitive, we don't need to use to. It is incorrect to say to go, to need, to speak, to live. And look for the third person loses the S in the question. We don't need it anymore. Here we have some other charts to simplify the use of the simple present tense. The affirmative form, I like, you like, he, she, or it likes. They apply the rule for the S. We like, you like, they like. The only modification is when the subject is the pronoun he, she, or the pronoun it. For the negative form, we use the modal auxiliaries. I do not like, you don't like, he doesn't like, she doesn't like, it doesn't like. We don't like, you do not like, they do not like. In here we have the full forms. What is full form? The two words are completed. In the short forms, we use contractions. What is a contraction? It's the deleted of one vowel. In that case, the vowel O. I don't like, you don't like, he doesn't like, she doesn't like, it doesn't like, we don't like, you don't like, they don't like. Here we have some examples. He likes Hollywood movie. In parentheses, we have the verb like. But applying the rule, he is the third person singular. So the verb needs to use an S. So we say he likes Hollywood movies. We love the food in the restaurant. The verb in parentheses in blue is love. Do we need to apply any rule to love? No, because the rule for the simple present tense S only applies when the subject is he, she, or it. So in the third case, he cries each time they give him an injection. The verb, the action is cry, but we need to apply the rule for the S. The verbs end in Y, but before the Y we have a consonant. If we have a consonant, then we write I-E-S. So that's why the verb changes into cries. The same happened with the verb try. She tries to talk to him about, but he won't listen. Sorry. Try is another action verb that finishes or ends in Y, but we have a consonant. We need to apply the rules. The rule says that we need to drop the Y at IES. And then we have the conjugation for the third person in the simple present. She tries to talk to him, but he won't listen. They jump really high. Jump. The action is jump. Do we need to apply any rule? No. The rule only applies when the subject is he, she, or it. The third person. That's why I always call them the VIP. Very important people. Don't forget them. Interrogative form. Let's review this again. The interrogative form needs the use of the modal auxiliaries do or does. I use do when the subject is I, you, we, you, and they. And I use does when the subject is he, she, or it, the VIP, the very important people, right? The third person singular. The verb does not need the S anymore because the modal auxiliary has it here. Do changes into does with the third person singular. And the verb is in the infinitive form. We don't need to change anything here. So we have question words. In these interrogative forms, we call them yes-no questions because the answer of this question is always going to be yes or no. But what about if I need more information? If I want to know more about something, then I use WS questions or information question words like what, where, who, how much, why, how often, when. I need more information about the subject. I need more information about the action. So, what do you like is asking for a thing. What do you like? I like ice cream. Where does he live? I'm asking for a direction. He lives in San Cristobal. Who lives here? Maria lives here. How much is this? This is $20. Why do you work so hard? Because I want to be an entrepreneur. When does the train leave? The train leaves at 7 o'clock. How often do they come? They come every 2 weeks. So What is the question word that asks for things? Where, place, who, people, how much is quantity, why is a reason, when is time, and how often is frequency. Let's check this video.
From restaurant, what kind of food does Stanley cook on Wednesday? On Wednesday, it's Chinese food. Chinese food? Yes, that's right. Thank you. Stanley's a traditional restaurant. Does Stanley cook breakfast? Yes, he does. Stanley's restaurant? Does Stanley cook Puerto Rican food on Thursday? Yes, he does. Thanks. When does he cook Japanese food? He cooks Japanese food on Friday. Excuse me? Actually, I have a question. Does Stanley cook Chinese food on Monday? No, he doesn't. When does he cook Chinese food? He cooks Chinese food on Wednesday. I see. Excuse me, sir. We're filming a commercial at Stanley's restaurant. May I ask you one or two questions? Certainly. Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Wednesday? Yes, I do. Why? Because I like Chinese food. Thank you very much, sir. My pleasure. Excuse me, we're filming a commercial. Commercial? You mean a TV commercial? Yes, may I ask you one or two questions? Sure. Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Sunday? No, I don't. Why not? Because I don't like American food. I see. Well, thank you. Anyway. Excuse me, sir. We're doing a commercial. May I ask you a few questions? What kind of food do you like? When do you go to Stanley's restaurant? Why not? Because what? Stanley doesn't cook Russian food? He doesn't. Thanks. Stanley, your restaurant is a very special place. What do people do at Stanley's International Restaurant? They speak Italian, eat Italian food, drink Italian wine, and listen to Italian music. On Tuesday, they speak Greek, eat Greek food, drink Greek wine, and listen to Greek music. On Wednesday, they speak Chinese, Chinese food, and Chinese Stanley. Yes, Stanley's International Restaurant is a very special place. So come on over to Stanley's Restaurant, the International Restaurant, where Stanley cooks a different kind of food every day.
Okay, now let's talk about the task.